So we are going to install the VMware vCenter server. What is that we need? So vCenter server 6.0 installation. You need a server, right, with following configuration: at least 2 CPU, 8 GB RAM, right, some 60 GB hard disk, and one network interface card. Okay, and the server must have at least 2008 R2. So we are going to do 2012 OS installation, 2012 R2. Okay, so that said, let's quickly go ahead and make that server ready for us. I already have a template here. Okay, so what am I going to do here is I'm just making a clone copy of it. Don't wonder that what is a clone. It is a true copy of your virtual machine. So I'm creating a full clone of it. I'm creating a full clone. So, and I wanted to call it as AMOVC. Okay, and the standard way that I go to D drive, I try to create a folder for this vCenter server. I go to D drive here. In the workstation, I create a folder, the name, okay, AMO vCenter. So finish. Now this will go create a machine with the operating system ready for us. You don't worry about the process that I followed here, that is cloning a machine. Cloning is a feature in VMware Workstation and of course in your vCenter server. So since we don't work on workstation in an enterprise environment, I will show you the cloning process in the vCenter console. Okay, so for now just ignore. All I'm doing is creating a server with 2 CPU, 8 GB RAM, 60 GB hard disk and a network interface card, and installing server 2012 R2 operating system on top of it. That's all I'm trying to do here. So me, instead of doing it manually, I'm finding an automated way. And then you need to have the installation media, that is vCenter installation media. So this is available in your Google Drive. If you guys go back to your mail chain, and if you find the mail, when I share the ESXi image with you, or the OpenFiler image with you, in the same folder you will find the VMware vCenter installation media. So that is something looks like this. That looks like this. Okay, VIM setup all. It looks like this. Got it? VIM setup all. So you have to download it. Once you download it and the server is ready, you have to mount that CD ISO to the CD drive of the machine here. So, and one more thing you need for your vCenter server, you need the Active Directory. And DNS. Okay, so you need both Active Directory and DNS. In our environment, I have a server called AD that has the domain installed, that has the DNS installed. I just have to power on it. Even in your labs, you definitely would have a server with Active Directory and DNS role, because in the past, if you remember, when you were doing the Windows server practicals, when you've done with Windows Server installation and configuration, and when I shared you the roles and features video set, in that the first role that the guy must have taught you is the Active Directory, following which the DNS. So Active Directory and DNS. Active Directory and DNS. Uh, so use those servers that you have created in the past. So you just have to power it on. Active Directory and DNS. So the cloning has complete. You will find a server. I'm just moving it into the folder that is Amvotech, and I'm going to adjust the resources that we need 8 GB of RAM and we need 2 CPUs. Of course, the CD drive, if I go to CD drive and I'm going to mount the VMware softwares vSphere 6 and VIM 6.0. I say OK, and I'm powering this machine on. I'm going to power on my Active Directory as well, because we need the Active Directory services also. Active Directory server and our vCenter server. So let the vCenter server power on. We will go through a wizard. Okay, the server is ready for us. I'm just doing a full screen here. Okay, and I'm trying to get into the server. So we just have to go through the same standard process. If you remember, what did we do to the Windows servers? We have changed the server name, set the static IP, uh, time synchronization, firewalls, right? The initial configuration that we have done. So I'm just going through the same here, and I'm changing the host name now. Our server name is amvo-vc. I say OK, close. I'll just restart it later. And I also wanted to set up a static IP here. I say command ipconfig all. When I say ipconfig all, you can see the current DHCP IP address here, 103. So I say ncpa.cpl, which will open up the the properties of the network interface card. You see here, I open the properties of network interface card, and I'm going to change the IP address here from dynamic to static. Disable IPv6, select IPv4, go to properties. I don't want an automatic IP, but I need a static IP. So here the IP address is 192.168.1 dot, maybe let's say 70. Sorry, what is the IP address of our ESX servers? Anybody remember IP of ESX servers? No? Okay, let me open up the DNS management console. Forward lookup zone. So if I say AMVO ESX, this is 5251. So our vCenter server IP is going to be 59. 192.168. Oops. 1. 2. So our DNS server IP address is 192.168.1.2. That is the Active Directory server. I say OK, close it, close it. And I probably can check the firewalls. Check the firewalls, disable them. So I off the firewalls as well. I'm just restarting the machine here. Once the machine is restarted, if you remember, we have to make sure that we have the administrator privileges. We have to make sure that the server is added to the domain. We have to make sure that the server has the FQDN working fine, right? So there is a checklist that we went through yesterday. So we have to finish that checklist. We have to make sure that we followed the checklist. If I go here, scroll down, so this is a checklist. Windows version, yes, it is compatible. We have got two processors. We have got 8 GB of RAM. The disk space, yes, 60 GB. Permissions on the selected installation directory. We are going to have the administrator privileges. The ports, we're going to check that. Database version, we are not using the external database. However, we are going to use the built-in database, that is the Postgres database. And administrator privileges, no. I mean, we have the admin privileges. We are going to log in as administrator and install the software. Any other credentials? That's all. The credentials that we're going to use are having the administrative privileges, no doubt about it. Verify FQDN, that is fully qualified domain name, is resolvable. So we are at that step to register the server with the DNS servers here. Okay, I'm going to add the server to the Active Directory. How will I add a server? How will you add a server to Active Directory? You have to go to the properties of a server, right click, properties. You see currently it is in work group. I say change domain name. My domain name is idesigned.com, idesign.com. So I have an administrator account in Active Directory which has the permissions to add servers to the domain. So it says welcome to iDesign. I've added the server to the domain controller now. I say restart. I say restart. Guys, you may be wondering what is this Active Directory? Why should we add it? All that stuff. If you guys have followed the Active Directory videos that I shared in the past, then you would understand why are we doing it. On a network, in any corporate environment, when you have thousands of servers or the servers spread across different countries in the globe, in fact we've discussed it, right? How will you control them centrally? Or if I am working in Qualcomm in India, if I move to some other location, I'll be logged into any other system with the same username and password. How is that possible? And I'll be having the same set of permissions no matter which location do I really travel to. That is all controlled by Active Directory. Okay, so Active Directory is a centralized database to control the network resources. The network resource can be a server, can be a computer, can be a printer, can be a file share. It can be anything in a company, any IT resource in a company that can be controlled with Active Directory. Okay, so now we are adding this vCenter server, the Windows machine, to Active Directory and the DNS so that we will have FQDN working fine. I'm just logging into the server now, and I'm going to check if the server is able to do the name resolution. Let me ping idesigned.com, iDesign.com. You see, I'm able to ping the domain, meaning I have the connectivity. And when I say ns lookup amvo-vc, you see, we have the ns lookup working fine. Same way, I say amvo-esx-01. You see, amvo esx01 iDesign.com. So the name resolution is working fine for us. Close. And fully qualified domain name working, time synchronization, that's fine. Log on as a service. Yep. I say gp-edit.msc. So here is where you can edit your security policies, local security policies. This is a server manager, the default console that pops up every time you log into the server. But I'm talking about this. Yeah, here it is. In local security policies, you can go to local policies, user assignment policies. You go to log on as a service. Here it is, log on as a service. You open it up and you have to make sure that you add the local administrators. The local done. Now, as I've already mounted the CD drive, we just have to start the installation. You see, this is the CD drive. I'm just opening it up, autoplay or auto run. The installation media will start. So this is the installation wizard that will take us through the installation. First thing that you selected is vCenter server for Windows. Okay, and you say install. It's going to take a couple of minutes. It has to do a lot of internal process. So as you see on the screen, the installation has detected a bug, a warning, and to remediate it, you have to apply this patch. You have to apply this patch. I mean, since it is a warning, I just kind of ignore it. But if it is your office, you definitely have to apply the patch and proceed with the installation. But for now, I'm just ignoring it and continuing with the installation. So I have to accept the license agreement of the VMware vCenter installation. Like I said yesterday, if you remember the deployment types, there are two type of deployments. One, vCenter server and the embedded platform service controller, putting both the components in a single machine. Or external deployment, that is platform service controller in a separate machine, your vCenter server in a separate machine. So we are going ahead with this embedded installation. Next. So this is our system name. So this is good, amvo-vc.idesign.com. That is a fully qualified domain name. Fine. Like I said, SSO domain, single sign-on domain. It's going to create a SSO domain. The domain name is vSphere.local. Okay, if you wanted to change, you can change it as well, and you have to provide a password for it. Okay, and when you wanted to log in for the first time, you have to log in this domain, administrator the user, and this is a password. You cannot log in with any other username and password. This should be the username and password to log in once your vCenter installation is complete. Okay, so and you're saying use Windows local system account, or you can specify any other account to install the service, and once the installation has been complete, even to run the service. I'm happy with the local installation, I mean the local user, and I am also happy with the embedded database. If you have an external database, you can choose this option, you can choose the connection, but we do not have the external database. We are continuing with the embedded database option. These are the ports. If any of the port is not available on the server, it will throw you an error. Let's see. Well, that is passed, so the ports are available, and this is the default installation location. uh, okay, and this should work for you. This is a summary of your selection. That's all. Install. You see, it is so simple. All you need to understand is the SSO username and password, the domain name also. Okay, now this installation process is going to be it's going to take at least one hour to 90 minutes of time, depending upon the process, but minimum I know it's going to take at least 1 hour of time to get the vCenter server installation done. What I'm going to do is I'll just quit the class now. However, the recording is going on, and I'll complete the post installation steps. That is a 5 minutes job. After this thing, I'll complete the post installation job, and I'll upload this video to YouTube so that you can watch it through. So any questions, guys?
Yeah, I mean the port number. Like, in what case do we see error? Like, do we have to see like number or red thing, or I don't know how this works?
Which one?
The port number.
So the ports are like the gates. Okay, let's say you are in a room. If you wanted to go out of
Yes.
the room, it's like a door that you need. Okay, so those are the standard ports that vCenter needs, and by default, as you install the vCenter server on a fresh operating system, the ports are available by default. But if you see any of the port is already occupied by a service, there is a separate troubleshooting process that you can identify. The netstat is a command that will give you the list of ports that are currently in use. So you can find which service is occupying that port, and you can certainly decide whether to continue. uh, I mean, you can take a decision if to stop that particular service and continue with the installation, or to find an alternative port number for the vCenter server installation.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, from where we have to install the Active Directory?
It means you did not practice the videos.
No, no. Actually, sir, I practiced the video, sir, but sir, I just the Active Directory. I am.
So it is built in into your Windows Server 2012 operating system. You have to
Yes, sir.
you have to go to roles. If you go to the server manager over here, you go to
Okay.
server manager over here. If you see manage, you say add role.
Yes, sir.
So this wizard will let you install Active Directory. So role based installation, that's fine. As you see, this is Active Directory domain services. Getting me? That is what you have to install, and there is something called DNS server. This is the other thing that you need to install. So you have to practice your Active Directory and your DNS. Please watch through those videos which are talking about your Active Directory and DNS, and you'll be okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, guys, I'm just terminating the class for now. However, uh, the installation would continue. Okay, and once the installation has complete, I'll start the recording again for the post installation. What did I do after the installation has complete? And the recording will be uploaded to the YouTube so that you can watch it and you can practice it. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.